panicking given a severe drop in the value of a portfolio?
Well, first of all, you can't. If you're prone to panicking and nervousness and anxiety, that's how it's going to be. The only thing, again, I would say is if you know you're going to panic, then manage your portfolio beforehand. If you're prone to panic and you're trading instruments which are highly volatile, then you have to reduce your size or have a strategy which allows for that. Again, it's probably not a good answer, but you have to fit your trading style to your personality. If you're going to panic and get nervous, have a rule that limits your drawdown to say 5% or 10% if you're an active trader. If you're more of a macro trader or you've got a macro portfolio, if that portfolio is vulnerable to a 25% loss in the next 3 or 6 months, then it's probably badly structured. That's my guess.
And what about keeping a level head when most others are losing theirs?
Oh, that's again another question with the magic pill, really. How do you do that? Again, it's partly down to personality. There are certain types that are always able to do that. Again, your risk management approach, how you structure your trading, that would help. Create an approach that manages to do that. Again, the emotional types, they're successful despite the fact they're emotional. They won't necessarily be able to turn that off. It's part of the roller coaster ride. I was that sort of trader. I had a lot of intensity in my trading. I had a wild ride. When things were going great, it was lovely, and I couldn't wait to get into work the next day, and I almost didn't want to turn off. But when it was going wrong, it was horrible, and I was lost in my own head. And I went into that kind of spiral negativity. But that was who I was as a person. I couldn't change that. But I had to build in practices and steps that would control that. So I learned to walk away from the market when I was having a bad run. Protect yourself from those things. Build models into your trading, structures into your trading. If I could tell you about this trader in Hong Kong who I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, he was also a fantastic poker player. And we discussed trading in terms of poker. Trading and poker are very similar. And he said part of his skill was knowing how not to get involved when he got bad hands. So he'd learnt to walk away from the table. And he says he's conscious that the cards are dealt randomly in poker. How you play them isn't random. And markets are a little bit like that as well. And he would talk about, he could be sitting at the table for an hour, maybe 2 hours, and he's just not getting good cards. Now he knows at some point he's going to be forced into hands that he shouldn't, because he's going to try and force the issue a little bit. So he'd actually learnt to say, okay, 2 hours, I'm closing my hand here, and I'm going to walk away. There's always another day I can come back where maybe I'll get better cards. And he said often the difference between him and the other players that he met on a regular basis was they may not have been better or worse players than him when they were getting good cards, but he was much better than them when he was getting bad cards. And this almost goes back to that profit-loss equation, knowing when to cut, knowing when to get out sometimes. Just take your profit, say I'm happy with it. It's about learning to optimise. So he'd calibrated his poker playing over many years, and he'd learned, as I say, to walk away. Sometimes in trading you've got to learn to walk away.